On Tuesday, January 20th in the early morning, at least here in the US, we have the new moon in Capricorn. Now this new moon is coming after the new moon cycle that we just had in Sagittarius, the very intense, transformative, very volatile new moon cycle that happened on the solstice. Remember how much I talked about that, and I said how if you're not destroying something in your life, or something is not dying and being destroyed and reborn, then you're not paying attention, and to look out for the next month, which was going to be very volatile and transformative. That was on the solstice, because we had the solstice and the new moon and at almost exactly the same time in Sagittarius about a month ago, and since then we had all of those terrorist events in Africa and in France right around the full moon, which was the sort of halfway point, sort of culmination dynamic of that cycle. And now we're moving into the new moon in Capricorn. So it's a good time to revisit that Sagittarius lesson and then see how the Sagittarius lesson leads to the Capricorn lesson. So Sagittarius is about optimism, hope, but also dogma, a rigid application of dogma, these rigid beliefs. We think something is right and it's supposed to be that way, and we get kind of sort of stuck in it. This is why opposite the Sagittarius lesson is the Gemini lesson, which says no, that's not right, and there are no teachings too sacred for Gemini to question and overturn and destroy if it's not correct. So that's the whole dynamic of Sagittarius. It's about belief measured in contrast to experience and understanding. That's what true wisdom is, and that's when belief and religion becomes spirituality. So now that lesson, that Sagittarius lesson, moves into Capricorn. None of that is even so useful unless we apply it and we make a commitment to it, and we bring those teachings and those inspirations and that wisdom, hopefully, that we've developed from Sagittarius, and bring it into the realm of form and commitment in Capricorn. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and it's the psychological, emotional quality of Saturn. So first we need to bring those teachings into the heart and make an internal commitment to them. Internal, which is the earth sign, and commitment is Saturn. So that inner commitment to growing something and establishing something, inculcating something in your life is what the Capricorn lesson is about. Now Saturn can be a fearful energy. It is the planet of our fears because it's the planet of time, where we are aware of the results of time. Time is leading to an inevitable conclusion that we don't generally like, which is the death of things, the obliteration of form, the obliteration of matter, the obliteration of who we think we are, which is this separate ego creature. We think we're living this separate life on Earth, and we only have so much time, and Saturn is the thing that gives us the awareness of that. And we become aware of our limited amount of time through death and endings, whether it's literally the death of another person or it's the death of something that has worn itself out in our life. It's run its course. We've done it enough. Now we're either letting it go or it's being taken from us, and that moves us to a next phase of growth and of maturity. And again, that's another big key word for Saturn and Capricorn, is being mature about things, letting them run their course, knowing when their time is done, and then letting go of them without bitterness, without regret, without feeling like we've been cheated. You can see the nature of Saturn and Capricorn as well in old people. When people have aged gracefully, then in old age they're a real delight. They have a sort of childlike wisdom even, where they've understood time, and they've made peace with time, and they then appreciate the time they have left. They appreciate life's lessons, and there's a real kind of richness to their whole demeanor, a sort of dignity. That's where you really see the dignity of Saturn, Or Saturn can make us really foolish and ridiculous in old age, where we are kind of defiantly shaking a fist at the fates for all those ways we've been cheated, and how we were never given this or that, and hanging on to old wounds. And people who've not aged gracefully are under the negative thumb of Saturn. And one thing to realize, you have to be careful of thinking that because of some configuration, well, your Saturn is weak, so you're going to experience it this way. Or we have a choice in this matter. Now, of course, an astrologer can typically see what the person's choice is likely to be. However, there's always the capacity through introspection and meditation to evolve that process very quickly and bring consciousness into it. These are advantages we have in this modern world that people in the ancient times didn't really have, because they were just kind of living hand to mouth. So we have a lot of capacity now, to introspect and go into the deeper qualities of these energies. So the deeper qualities of Capricorn is to make peace with time, to make peace with the past, to take that inspiration and those lessons that you've learned from this last transformative cycle of Sagittarius and make an internal commitment to those things, to really build a solid structure in your life that is more than just material form, which is going to get taken away. Because the lower quality of Saturn is where we see ourselves as this separate, limited creature, and so we make a commitment to some sort of form, some kind of routine, whether it's about our house and our home and our family and our money. We try to insulate ourselves from this danger by building up this sort of fortress. But the problem with the fortress is it not only keeps things out, but it also cuts us off from what's outside. So instead we need to go inside and build an inner fortress so that we're no longer afraid of time and its effect on us. This is the deeper, more evolved possibility of Saturn. Now it's an Uttar Ashada Nakshatra, which means later victory. And this later victory comes when we make a commitment to those Vishwadevas, those universal forces of life. They have to do with time, which in Sanskrit is Kala, and Dharma, which is truth, and Kama, which is desire. How we commit and we focus our desire through the commitment of time and the commitment of action, karma, and these other wonderful forces like purity and truth, guarantees the victory. Now, that means that wherever we're putting our time and attention is what we're being victorious over. These are the victories in our life. So if you're putting your time and attention on money and building up this false fortress, then that's the victory that you're going to win. If you shift and you evolve that process and you put your focus on a more internal, more universal and eternal possibility, that's going to be the victory in your life. So for the next month, this is important. Now we also have Mercury about to turn retrograde as well. He turns retrograde the day after the new moon on the 21st. So Mercury retrograde will be going for the next few weeks as well. So much of this Saturn cycle will include a retrograde Mercury, which is a time for you to reflect, listen more, talk less, reflect, edit, go inside and really adjust your inner environment, adjust that voice in your head to match reality, or at least quiet it down for a while. That's the greatness of Mercury retrograde. Jupiter is also retrograde, so that whole theme of hope and belief measured against precision and intelligence will also be important for the next month. So if you want to know how this is going to influence your sign, you can get a membership to my site for only 1 penny. And you not only get to see the forecast for your sign, but you also get a great chart reading template and other things. So either way, I hope you have a great month, and leave me some comments. Let me know how things are going for you.